We would normally have done our player ratings outside Anfield yesterday, but it was a bit chaotic after the game, getting all the interviews in. And then it started to rain, so we decided that we'd do the player ratings today. And I don't know, maybe it might have helped a few of the players, the fact that I'm doing it today and not yesterday, because it was a poor performance. Poor performance by Arsenal yet again, going away to one of the big teams and not getting a result. What is that now? We've been away to Manchester City, lost. We've been away to Everton, loss. We've been away now to Liverpool, loss. Manchester United, last minute equaliser. Didn't really deserve, to be honest, to get anything out of the game. Got a draw. You know, we've been away to Chelsea, lost. It's just not good enough from a team that is more than capable of going to these places and getting a result. And yesterday was another poor performance by Arsenal. Let me run through the player ratings. Petr Cech in goal. Had no chance with any of the goals. Didn't really play that badly. Pulled off a couple of decent saves. You know, the tactic of Arsenal that seemed to be, let's lump the ball up to Giroud. I mean, I couldn't work that out, but, you know, obviously he's just following orders. 7 out of 10 for Petr Cech. Not the worst games for him, but obviously 2 goals conceded. Hector Bellerin, very poor yesterday. This guy has been one of our star performers over the past couple of seasons, but recently, ever since he came back from that little injury he's had, he's just not been performing. We haven't seen him getting down the flanks. He sort of did it towards the end of the game, you know, when we were up against it. But earlier on in the game, making a lot of stupid mistakes, just not, I don't know, we just didn't see him at the races in the game. For a player of his quality, it was a poor performance by Hector Bellerin, 4 out of 10. Mustafi, again, you know, grew into the game better in the second half. I mean, there was one stage when he went on a great run down the wing and put in a great cross, something that we've been lacking the whole game. Grew into it a bit, but again, not the greatest of performances by Mustafi, 5 out of 10. Same with Koscielny as well. Okay in the game, but again, you know, defensively, the goals that we conceded were so poor. 5 out of 10 for Koscielny. Monreal on the other wing as well, poor again. 4 out of 10 for him. He's having a poor season. He was great last season. He had a brilliant season last season. But this year, he's been very poor. Just in front of him, Francis Coquelin. Terrible yesterday. Again, another guy who performed so well last year. Was he performing way above his level? I don't know, because he's just been terrible the past few games. Against Chelsea, he was awful. Yesterday again. You know, he's not exactly up against super physical guys in the midfield, but when he was closed down, he just gave the ball away all the time. He was just lost the ball in possession. He was poor. 3 out of 10 for Coquelin. Very poor yesterday. Granit Xhaka, poor as well. Again, another guy that didn't seem to be able to cope with getting closed down. You know, and no creativity whatsoever. We miss Santi Cazorla so much. He's just not the guy at the moment for that position. Maybe we'll see the best of him next season, but at the moment, poor. 4 out of 10 for Granit Xhaka. Just in front of them, Alex Iwobi again, poor yesterday. I mean, you know, he was sort of in that Mesut Ozil position. Did nothing really throughout the game. Didn't really make an impact on the game. Listen, you got to feel it for the guy. He's a 20-year-old kid. He's been shifted from position to position to position. But didn't really make an impact on the game at all yesterday. Got to give him as well a 4 out of 10. Switching out to the wings, I thought Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was the best of a poor bunch. He really tried to make something happen. He was trying to make runs. He, you know, sometimes when he's making those runs, there was nobody there on the end of any of those runs. But Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I thought played okay. 6 out of 10 for him. Also on the other wing, Danny Welbeck scored a goal. What happens when you score that goal? You get taken off. I mean, I know, listen, to be fair, he did look pretty tired. He was starting to look a bit tired, but surely you keep the goal threats on the pitch. But he did score a goal. I'm going to give him I'll give him a 7 out of 10. And then Olivier Giroud up front, Just, you know, the tactics of just trying to get the ball into him didn't work. He was marked very, very well by Matip and the defenders at Liverpool, in which they kind of double teamed him, which is what we should have been doing to Mane. They double teamed him, so everything that was getting lumped into him, you know, they were able to cope with. He didn't have, I don't even want to like attack Giroud because his service into him was poor. When they did get good headers into him, he did pull some good saves out of the keeper, Milner. Going to give Giroud a 6. Moving to the substitutions. Alexis Sanchez, who's on the bench. I still can't get over it. A day is gone and I'm still baffled. But I'm going to come to that when we give Arsene Wenger his player ratings. But the man in the match, he was only on the pitch for one half. He changed the game. It was a totally different Arsenal in the second half thanks to one man. The one man that at the moment you'd have to say he's got to be looking at things and saying, oh, I'm off. I can't handle this. You know, Alexis Sanchez, 8 out of 10, man of the match for Arsenal. Lucas Perez came on, didn't really, you know, he tried to have an impact, but wasn't on long enough to have an impact. Theo Walcott came on as well, didn't have an impact at all, really, to be honest. There should have been a Liverpool player sent off. I think it was Chan for the foul on Theo Walcott, but they just didn't have long enough to make an impact. So both of those two, 5 out of 10. Fans yesterday, I'm going to give the fans a 7 out of 10. They tried to rally, they tried to get behind the team, but it was just a subdued atmosphere. As soon as the fans saw the team announced, they were like, what is this? No Alexis. The spirits were down already. It's like we're getting used to going away to these places and losing, which is something we've not had for years, but now that's what's happening. Fans, yeah, so fans 7. The manager now, Arsene Wenger. I've got to be very harsh on Arsene Wenger. I was reading something yesterday where I think it was a journalist, from a BBC journalist. He said a really true thing. He said, would Chelsea have left out Diego Costa for such an important game? Would they have left him on the bench? Would Manchester United have left Zlatan Ibrahimovic on the bench for such an important game? Would Spurs have left Harry Kane on the bench for such an important game? So please, somebody, tell me, why did Arsene Wenger leave Alexis Sanchez, our best player by a country mile, on the bench for such an important game? If you're going to do something like that, it has to come off. He said that he was going for height. It has to come off. And it didn't. You know, and even if he wanted to go for height, why didn't he put Alexis then in that number 10 position that Ozil normally plays? We know that Alexis basically can play anywhere across that front. Why not put Alexis in there instead of Iwobi? He's more likely to score a goal than Iwobi. He's creative. He's much more creative than Iwobi. He can carry the ball just as good as Iwobi. Why? And then when we made the substitutes, why take Welbeck off? He scored a goal. Why take Giroud off, who's your only aerial threat? Why didn't he take Iwobi off and maybe say, you know, move, I don't know, Lucas out to the left, move Alexis just behind in the middle, keep Giroud on for those balls that are going to come. I just didn't get any of it yesterday. It appeared to me yesterday, and I have to agree with most of the fans that I interviewed yesterday, that he'd lost the plot. Arsene Wenger lost the plot yesterday. Completely. It was just inexplicable. I just don't know what he was up to yesterday. 1 out of 10 for Arsene Wenger yesterday, and that one's just for turning up. And he didn't really do nothing. He just sat there. I mean, I don't want to diss Arsene Wenger. You know what I mean? I've been a massive Arsene Wenger fan over the years. But as I said, his record against the big teams away from home this season's been awful. Not just this season, last season, the season before has been awful. And his decision-making yesterday cost Arsenal the game. What can I say? What do you guys think? Give me your player ratings. Leave it in the comments below if you're on YouTube. Thanks for joining us in this special edition of player ratings. I'm very, very depressed today. You know, it was just such a poor performance. I felt so sorry for all those travelling fans who, as usual, were there in their vast numbers, up there, drove all the way up to Liverpool. And it's just getting really depressing now. And we are starting to reach to the stage at Arsenal where something needs to be done. It's a mess at the moment. It's a shambles. As Claude said yesterday in his video, it's a shambles at the moment. Something has to be done, but we're fans. We roll on to Bayern Munich. Let's see what happens.